Hi, I am Leslie,
I'm Stephanie.
and we are the Hand Readers Guild. And we're here today to do some readings um, on some handprints for you. This is our episode 2 of the Hand Readers Read, where we actually show you handprints and go through what it would look like if we were sitting with a client and we had inked their hands and we were reading for them and talking about what we see. Obviously, we don't have the clients with us here. It's just me and Steph. But we always use those inked handprints when we're with the clients and we go back and forth between the hand and the print. But before we get started today, we're just going to tell you a little bit about us and how we roll. So we are the Hand Readers Guild. We have our YouTube channel called Hand Readers Guild. And we have a lot of videos up teaching you about hand analysis, which is what we do. And everything from talking about your thumbs to what else? Stars on the hands, myths about what you can really see in the hand and what you can't.
Major lines.
What's that?
Major lines in your
Major
hand.
lines we've talked about. We've done one other episode where we've done some readings of handprints, and we're going to be doing those sprinkled in occasionally. And we also have a Facebook group where we stream these live, and we have some diagrams and teachings in there, and it's a place where you can come and have discussions and ask questions. And so you can join that Facebook group if you're interested in rolling along with these with us and learning more. And what else do we have? That's it for now. But we also have, before we get started, so you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can join us in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook page you can like, same thing, called Hand Readers Guild. And then I'm going to let Stephanie handle our little disclaimer.
Our disclaimer, which I'm listening to as we speak. We are doing this live. We don't edit it. You get to hear all of our lives in the background. So right now I have a little dog that is wanting to get out, and all I hear is him scratching at the door. And I'm sure he'll whine at some point. But we have dogs. I have kids. We all do.
They ring bells, they bark.
They bark, they howl.
So we don't edit these. We just keep them in there. So if stuff happens during our broadcast, you get to enjoy our life with us.
We just roll with the flow.
We roll with it. So we hope you'll laugh with us and roll with it too.
Yes.
So let's get on to what we came here to talk about today. We have our slideshow like we do every week. And we are today, our episode 2 of our readings is Love, Love, Love. Last episode we did powerlessness. We talked about power and not having power. This time we're going to talk about feelings. Everybody's favorite subject, right?
Oh, yes. Love those feelings. As an Aquarius, I don't have feelings. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no. You're just rooted deep down inside.
Oh, no. I'm a triple water sign, so I deal with this all the time. Oh, my goodness.
I counteract with my other water signs, so it's too much emotion, but on the front, you don't get to see anything.
Okay. All right. Well,
anyway.
Neither one of these handprints belongs to us.
No.
But we have 2 pairs of hands, and what we're talking about today is our hands, 2 subjects that we've read who have the same life purpose as their life lesson and their life school. So what do we mean by this? We actually have a video on life schools and fingerprints. So if this interests you, you should check that one out.
Go back to that one.
Yes, that was a very good one, actually.
It was fun.
Yeah. So, most people are familiar with the reading of the lines in the hands, but hand reading is way more than just lines. It's lines, it's hand shapes, it's hand texture. But the main thing that we do that sets our style of hand analysis apart from other types of hand reading is that we read the karmic script in the fingerprint or the soul agenda in the fingerprints. The fingerprints are formed at about 16 weeks in the gestation in the womb. And that's about the same time as a very important part of your brain is forming. So there is a tie between the wiring in the brain that's happening in the womb and the fingerprints that are completely formed 5 months before you take your first breath. And I actually just confirmed this recently in a search online. This is before your gender is determined. That happens more like 18, 19,
Oh,
20
that's an
weeks.
interesting little
Yeah,
fact. How
I
cool is
know.
that? That's
I
cool.
I thought that was pretty cool too. So
Can
you
I
have
see their fingerprints? I don't care about their gender.
right, yes, you have fingerprints that are telling you what you're coming here to do, and then you decide whether you're going to do it as
Male
a
or
male or a
female?
female
Or
later.
both.
Right,
You never know. Could be both. Yes.
right.
I couldn't decide, so I'm going with it all.
All right, let's get back
Yes,
on
I know.
topic here.
Okay.
See what we mean
Been a
about
while.
just rolling with it?
Yes.
So the three parts that you see in the fingerprints are the life purpose, the thing that you came here to be best at, and that you know instinctively and you don't have to learn. You're already good at it. You're born good at it. We call, you can say it's the thing, it's like your natural talent, your
Mhm.
natural ability, your natural inclination. Hardwired, never changes, like your fingerprints.
Mhm.
The second piece is the lesson. So the thing you need to learn to sort of complete the picture. And it's actually, if you don't do the learning part, the part you're already good at may not work as well as you hope. It doesn't matter if you're really good at it. There's other stumbling block will keep getting in the way. And
Mhm.
that's the lesson in your fingerprints. And then the third piece, we call it the school, but you can call it all kinds of other things. It's basically how you gain the experiences you need to bring your life purpose to fruition. And there's 4 of those. And like we said, we have a video just on this. They're love, service, peace, and wisdom. And it's based on the 4 fingerprint types, the 4 categories of fingerprints that almost everyone uses to identify fingerprints. And no matter what system you're using, whether it's hand reading or um, just identification,
Mhm.
law enforcement, all those things. So here's what happens when someone has all 10 fingerprints with the same type of fingerprint. All 10 fingers have the same fingerprint. You have the same life lesson as life purpose and school. So what does that mean? How would you describe it, Stephanie?
I would say that you are constantly working on your talent, and it's the flavor of how life goes.
Right. It's you are here in a single focus lifetime. The
Mhm.
thing you are here to master is also the thing you have to learn the most about. So you're almost going from student to master in the same lifetime.
Mhm.
And I want to say I don't think, based on my years and years of sitting with people and reading from them and working with people who have the same purpose and lesson, I don't think you're actually coming in as a complete novice.
No, I don't think so either. Because you have the talents already. The purpose is there.
Right, which you've gotten somehow.
It's the basics. You got the
Right,
basics, and you get to learn more about
right.
adding to your
It's
your
about
knowledge.
like it's like if you had a BA
Mhm.
in a subject and you decide to go for your PhD.
Mhm. Right.
So your master's and your PhD. So it's a lifetime where you're actually taking whatever skill you came into and really needing to hone it, work on it, and in some ways you have to spend your entire life focusing on just this. Now, the 2 pairs of hands that we chose for today all 10 fingerprints as loop fingerprints. And the loop fingerprint is associated with this, we call it the school of love.
Mhm.
Basically, if you really think about it, it's not love like if you think about me and somebody in
Mhm.
relationship. We're talking about emotions. You could almost call it the school of emotions instead. Feelings.
Master of emotions. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
master of emotions. Now I know you're all going, I want to be in that school.
Not necessarily. I don't. I'm good.
I think we're being facetious. You know
Right.
that.
Thank you.
Right. We're being facetious. So essentially, what this is that in the school of love, let's just talk about the school of love,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So you came here to deal with emotional authenticity, to be in touch with how you're feeling at all times. Most people I've met in the school of love know this, and maybe are just having it's not the easiest. It is actually the school of love's the most common though, because the
Mhm.
loop is the most common fingerprint.
Mhm.
So you're here to uh, express your feelings, not just feel them,
But
not
share
just
them
feel
with
them
the
for you,
world.
share them with the world.
Mhm.
Express your feelings, and there's a whole list we go through. In the moment you have them, at the proper intensity, not holding any of it back so that
Whew.
all of it comes out at once. I know,
Ooh.
but at the proper intensity, remember.
Right, right. Proper intensity.
We're
There's
not
that.
talking about having a tantrum here. Uh, and not caring what anybody else thinks about it.
Yes, you hold your own feelings sacred.
Yes. Oh, that's a great way to put it. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
It's
That's really beautiful.
because that's the whole part of the school of love is first you have to love yourself in order to be able to love others.
That's right.
So,
So this is
hold,
really about learning to love yourself.
hmm and that sacred space that you hold it within.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Now, all that said, I am in School of Love. Um, I'll admit it. Here I am, School of Love. I am not a life purpose love person, but I am School of Love, so I'm familiar with a lot of this.
Hmm.
But of all the people I have worked with who have 10 loops where it's their single focus, it's what they came to have as their purpose, but it's also the thing they're learning. It's not an easy lifetime.
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's an easy lifetime.
The ones that I know, they yeah, it's a relationships um, thing, and it usually boils down to themselves with the relationships, and it's not just relationships with people. It could be relationships with money. It could be relationships with materialism. It goes not just
Right,
people, but emotionally attachment, emotional
right,
attachment to things or people or
right,
places.
right. All kinds of things.
Hmm.
All kinds of ways it plays out. But when I've worked with some of these people, some of them are just like, no. They've got their feet on the brakes, like no. But um, I think in all the years I've worked with people in School of Love, I think of one time I had told somebody that their life purpose was love, and they were happy. I think of
Wow.
one out of thousands. She stands out in my mind because that's not usually the reaction I get.
Like you're here
So
to love everybody. Yes.
yeah, she
It's
was just
great.
so happy about that. I was like, wow, you're happy about it. It was
Well,
surprising
great.
to me.
Well, she
Yeah,
probably came with more knowledge than what most people with this comes with. So
right,
she probably had a BA and I was already working on her PhD when she saw you.
right.
Hmm.
Could be.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, let's talk about these particular hands. Um, so uh, this hand, life purpose, love, life lesson, love, school of love. Here to learn all about love.
Hmm. The
So
first place
we
we look
have
at.
what's
Oh,
that?
go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to say the
Go ahead.
first place we look at is the heart line.
Heart line.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
where I would look because that's,
Right. So the
the
heart
heart is
line
love,
is the
emotion.
horizontal line that comes right underneath your fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So what would you say about these heart lines?
These heart lines have seen some pain and suffering. They've seen a little bit of heartbreak. There's some the little wispy ends. There's some that we call them dangling angers, like anger or heartbreak from previous relationships that we're still
Right.
kind of hanging
Resentment.
on to, a little resentment. He did this to me, or she was like
Mhm.
this to me, or,
Right.
but yep,
Right. Right. And they're kind of doubled, a little protection on there.
there's a little protection. This time I'm not going to do it that way.
Right. Right.
Standoffish, perhaps.
Right. Now,
Hmm.
this person's heart line shows that they're a you first person. So they're me first heart lines, meaning I have to take care of my own emotional needs first,
Right.
and you first heart lines, which are I need to take other people's care of other people's emotional needs first.
Hmm.
So she's a you firster,
Yes.
which in balance is neither good nor bad. It's as long as it's in balance.
Hmm.
But I'd say there's some things on this hand that say there's some out of balance stuff, wouldn't you?
Yes, definitely. So, where do we begin?
Oh, you yeah.
So much.
Well, there those missing areas of the thumb, and we've talked about this in our other video on readings where we do these prints and we take multiple prints. And so we can tell whether something is just, oh, the hand didn't print well this time. We toss those. But if we print the hand again and again and again, and a certain section of the hand doesn't want to print, it's telling us something.
Yeah.
It's telling us something. We call it a void. It's telling us that this part of the person's life is not working well.
Hmm.
So that part of the thumb has to do with communication, right? And discernment.
Communication and discernment
Yes.
and your willpower. How you
Yes.
get
Well,
things done.
right. So with that missing middle section, so maybe this person isn't very discerning in who they let into their life.
Hmm. It's a floating thumb tops.
Yes, they are floating there, aren't they? The other thing that I noticed about this handprint right away is that on the left hand, the lifeline just is where did it go?
It's
There's
like,
just a bunch of scribbles there, and I can't really tell where the lifeline is.
right.
So the lifeline is the line that comes around your thumb. And we actually have a video on lifelines, don't we?
We do.
Yeah, that's a really good one too.
Hmm.
So the lifeline does not talk about how long you're going to live.
No.
It does talk about your being in your body, your vitality, your energy, and it does kind of, to some level, show a record of your life experiences.
Hmm.
And with a lifeline that's so, you can hardly find it there.
Yeah, I can't decide if there's a couple of them, but they're kind of just substituting.
Right,
Substitution. We can bring in somebody else now.
right, and you can see there's a definite lifeline on the right hand.
Yes.
And the right hand is how we show up in the world, but the left hand is more of our internal workings. So this person is definitely putting on a good face on the outer world, but their
Hmm.
inner life, their whole sense of whether they're grounded, whether they have stability in their life, I would say no.
Little nervous Nelly, kind of.
Well, this is, and most of what is that stuff rooted in? I mean, it must
Hmm.
be emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you not feel
Well,
safe? It's almost like she doesn't feel safe.
right. And the lifeline and her headline, the headline is the one between the two lines that usually connects to your lifeline.
Right.
Both of hers are not connected.
Right.
Which,
So at the beginning around the thumb side, they usually connect.
hmm.
Correct.
And that is not, it's not a connection. It's like a family detachment.
Right. Right.
Early on in childhood.
Right. 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 Let's get a little closer up on that.
Oh, right. There we go.
Yeah, you can really see that here. That the lifeline on the right there, you can see the lifeline and the headline don't meet in the beginning. You can see on the left hand that lifeline is kind of like splitting up into all kinds of places. It's like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
It's not really, it's neither here nor there. It's not
Right.
missing, but it's not clear where
It's
it
like
is.
a refraction of light. So there was a laser and it got refracted, and these are the points that are just kind of shooting off. I have a
Right.
little energy here and a little energy there, but
Right.
nothing here internally.
Right. So the other thing, let's go back to the heart line.
Hmm.
because the heart line normally kind of comes across the hand and goes either straight across or up. And in this person's case, there is a line coming off the heart line that goes
Down.
and
Turns
droops down
down. Hmm.
towards the thumb area. That's a line that we call the bending over backwards line. You
Yeah.
want to talk about that?
That is where you're not feeling like you get enough out of the relationship. Like you're putting all of your effort into it, but somehow, some way, um, you're not getting back what you give out. Out.
Right. Or you just are not very good with your boundaries and
Hmm.
you're always doing for other people. And being that this person is a you first heart line, I think you first heart line people tend to have this issue more
Hmm.
often. But this is definitely where the person is doing too much of that.
Yeah.
It's an out of balance marker in terms of how much you firsting they're doing. They're doing you first to the detriment of themselves.
Right. Exactly. It brings to mind caregivers. I
Yes.
worked in the caregiving field, and that's kind of how that mentality is like, I'm here. Like, we just had that big storm, and there were several people that went out into the storm just to help the people, their clients.
Wow.
That's selflessness for sure.
Right. Or empaths.
Mm-hmm.
Empaths tend
Empath.
to run
Yeah.
into this too.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I see on this hand is they have something called the love at first sight marker.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
this one's a little harder to describe, but it shows up over here underneath. Let's
Your
just do this
pinky.
for a minute. Yeah, let's put our hands bigger for a minute.
There you
Underneath the pinky. No, it's like my light is just bleaching me out. Underneath the pinky, it comes across and then droops down the same way that bending over backwards line does. So, if you look underneath the pinky, you can see a line that starts on the end of the hand, comes across, and then right down
goes down.
towards the heart line, and it almost meets the heart line. And it's on both hands.
It's both
Um,
hands. Mhm.
both hands. So what that is that that goes with that lack of discernment with the missing thumb section, right? Wouldn't you
Yeah.
say that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
goes? It's another form of
Look
lack
at
of
that
discernment.
beautiful thing. I'm in love.
Right,
Wait, no, I'm
right.
in love with that thing over there. No, wait, I'm in love with that thing over
Or
there.
right, right.
Especially
Getting
with the handprint, the fingerprints of love.
Oh yeah, getting attached before you actually find out enough information.
Hmm. Exactly. Yep. Getting attached and then falling out of love just as fast as falling in love.
Yep, that can happen.
Hmm.
All right, we ready to move on to the next hand?
Yes.
All right. So this is also a person with 10 loops, fingerprints, life purpose love, life lesson love, school of love. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention, which we didn't mention before, is someone with 10 loop fingerprints in terms of career, because their life focus is about relationships and emotions and not about an actual particular action. They actually have a lot of leeway in what they choose to do in terms of their career.
Correct.
So there, and a lot of these people don't stick with one thing because if they are listening to their emotions, that sometimes may mean I'm not happy doing this anymore,
Mm.
and they need to make a change. So this hand, the lines are a lot deeper and more deeply carved than the first hand we looked at. But there's just a lot of lines covering this hand.
Yes.
And the first thing I notice about this person is the size of their thumbs. Now we have a really good video on thumbs, and we talk
Hmm.
about thumb size. And thumbs are really important because it's what separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom. Our thumbs they do a lot of work in our world, and in terms of hand reading, they're really important too. So thumbs are how you shape and control the world. Like I said, it makes us the tool makers.
Hmm.
And it's your willpower, and it's control. Control is a thumb word. So when someone has big, huge thumbs, when in proportion to the rest of their hands, and in particular, this person's left thumb is really big.
Right.
We're looking at someone who's trying to keep things in control. Now, what do we know about emotions? You can't control
They
them.
are not controllable. It's like water. Just let it go.
Right. So, you know what? If you are fighting to control and you are all
Loops.
feelings,
Yep. All
you're going
loops.
to have some serious issues going on. This is not going to be a fun time.
Mm-mm.
So, that could be a problem here. Trying to control feelings. Feelings are messy. They're
Not,
messy.
yeah.
They
She's
just are.
not only controlling her emotions or this person's emotions, her emotions, it's controlling other people's emotions on the
Right.
outside too, which there's absolutely no control
No,
over
you
that. You can
absolutely
control
cannot do
anybody.
that. It's not possible at all.
No.
So the other thing that stands out to me is the upper sections of their fingers. So each section we look at fingers. Remember I mentioned we look at hand shapes and things. We look at each section of the fingers, each phalange has a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, as a whole, this person's upper phalanges of their fingers are really large too. That's the mental zone. So that is, can you hear my dog drinking water?
Yes, I can. So good.
Okay. At least he's not barking. So that's the mental zone. That's staying up in the head. So this person is supposed to be in their heart, but they're really working hard to stay in their head. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
a lot of analyzing instead of feeling. And that you can see that a little bit too by the headline, which is super straight.
Super
The
straight.
straighter the headline, the more logical, the curvier it is, the more intuitive and emotional. So, and she's got a straight heart line on her left hand as well.
Well, her headline and her lifeline are straight on the right hand.
Yes.
Very straight. Must travel
Right.
in a logical fashion.
Right. Right. Now her heart line is different on the right hand and the left.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the last person we saw, they had the same
Very
you
similar.
first heart line. This person's a me firster. Both of these are me firsters, but one is more sort of logical and also I need my space on the left. The right hand is that's the super emotional heart
Right.
line.
Yes, the passionate.
Passionate heart line. It's all about me and I need to be me.
That's
And look at me.
that goes along with the thumb. So I would say when she enters the room, she's the dangly bangled woman who makes a lot of noise and comes
Right.
in as like,
You
I am
definitely,
here. Look at
yes.
me, adore me, love me.
Yes, could be. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I have information for you, so you have to pay attention to me.
Right.
Controlling. That would be a
Right.
controlling thing.
That would be a controlling thing. Yes, it would.
Someone needs a
So,
bell.
yes, that's the
Hear the
bell.
bell.
That's the dog bell. He's ringing the bell because he says, I need to pee, mom.
Yeah, they're so good at timing. Talk
Well,
about control.
yep. Yes. I got him out before we started the video, and he
It
said, nope,
doesn't matter.
I don't really want to go right now.
Eh,
I'll just wait till you're on the screen, mom.
right in the middle of everything, and then I can control this whole situation.
Right. So let's look at the close up of this hand so that I can let my dog out soon. So here's the close up of this hand. Now, one thing of this hand, she also has like her nervous system is like,
That's that's part of not feeling your emotions. It's all trapped in your hand now.
right.
Because you're
But
just
she does have
thinking it through.
a lot of stars on her Mound of the Moon, which is down here,
Mhm.
which shows a lot of intuitive energy.
Mhm. Oh,
But in general, just a lot of like electric stuff. Which
mhm.
could also go with that. I'm as I walk in the room, you must see here. Look, I'm like sparkling.
Mhm.
But the other things I wanted to point out about this hand is she has a very long, continuous fate line. So the fate line isn't really about fate; it's your purpose over time. So it comes up the middle of the hand, in general and comes up to the middle finger. It's not always straight, and it's actually fine, but
Hmm.
she has a strong one on both hands. It's really strong on the left,
Yeah. Yep.
really strong on the left. It kind of, on both hands, it kind of has a little kink just as it hits the heart line, but it comes all the way up to the finger. I want to say that this is a person who's throwing herself into her work in order to maybe not deal as much with the feelings and the relationships.
A little numbness.
Yeah, well, how do you feel? How is somebody like this going to be numb with that much electrical energy and so much sensitivity in that hand? I mean, there's like every sense in this person's body is looks like it's turned on high.
Yeah. Well, their logic is, oh, I don't need to feel that because of XYZ. They
Right,
give themselves a way to not have to feel. That's
right.
another way of numbing.
Yeah, well, yes, it is. Right, right. Throwing
Telling us,
yourself into something else so that you're not actually paying attention to your feelings. So making yourself super busy.
right, emotionally involving yourself with other people's stuff instead of your own stuff. That's
That's
another
another
way to
thing. Yeah,
feel, but not feel yourself.
right, right. Exactly. Now, the one thing I do know about this person is that they do work with their spouse. So, on some level, this could be working for them.
Hmm.
They're making it work that way. Um, there's, it may not be the perfect um, thing they need to be doing in order to actualize their purpose and get past what they're here to learn,
Hmm.
but it's probably a mechanism that's helping with this. It can be, or it could not be, because if there's that big thumb comes into play, that could cause relationship conflicts as well.
Yeah, that big thumb has some power behind it because it has a lot of lines that go up towards the head and lifeline
Right,
that can give them endurance and a lot of energy.
right,
They do have a little bit of gritting where there's some lines that come from the thumb that go across the hand,
right,
but it is not nearly as prominent as those lines of energy that go up. So,
right, right. This hand, boy, it's got a lot of, yep, I'm moving, and then it's like we call it 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. The vertical lines are the energy moving up and out into the world. The horizontals are kind of like speed bumps, slowing it down. So, yes,
little slow down, Moby.
yeah. Moby's my dog. He's like, come on, Ma, speed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Speed up. I need to go.
Exactly.
So, anything else you want to say about a 10 loop person, or the idea of having this same life lesson and life purpose?
It is all about the relationships and your emotions. Make sure that you laugh when you're supposed to, appropriately, not at funerals, but you never know. That could be appropriately too.
It depends on what kind of funeral you're having, right? I think
True.
the point I want to make about it is the piece around not caring what other people think
Yeah, that's a
about.
hard one.
That is when I tell people, when I give them the litany of what it means to be in the school of love, or to have love as your life purpose or your lesson, when I give them that litany, when I always get to the not giving a rat's you know what about what other people think, that's usually where people go, oh,
What? I can do that? Yeah. It's you're giving them permission to do it. And sometimes people need that from another person. Just like, it's okay if you do that, or it's okay if you don't do that, or it's okay if you don't feel that way. That is how you feel. It is not necessarily how I feel, and that's
right,
okay. We
right,
need a lot more of that in the world, really. If we have all the loops in the world, we need a little bit more of that feeling. Like, it's okay if you have your moments.
right, right.
We all do need to get along, and we all need to relate. Ding, ding, time's up.
Right. So let's just wrap it up. I just want to say, if you have loops or questions about having loop fingerprints, feel free to leave a comment or a question for us. We will answer you and get back to you.
Hmm.
If you have any questions about fingerprints in general, same thing. You can join our Facebook group.
Here, oop, there we go.
Yep.
There we
Join
go.
our Facebook group where we will definitely answer any questions you have there. Like our YouTube videos here. And I know he's like, I'm just getting impatient here, Mom. Yep. Someday we'll show you a picture of our dogs.
Right.
Like our YouTube channel, subscribe to our channel so you get notified when we do more of these videos. We're going to be having some classes we're going to be doing this year and coming up. So stay tuned for some announcements about those. And we just are looking forward to seeing you here next time.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Woohoo.
Bye.
Bye.